This is Me as a Teacher by Alexandra Perez. From a very young age, adults and teachers have always asked us what we wanted to be when we were older. And at the time, I would always say doctor or lawyer. I never even thought to being a teacher like my mom. I had always seen students be rude to teachers or complain too much that I figured it was too hard of a job and that it wasn't for me. Mentoring kids at a nearby elementary school, it started to seem like a good idea. All my friends began to tell me that I'd make a great teacher because I made things easier for them to understand, and they were learning more from me than their actual teachers. And she told me she had always thought of teaching as a career for me because I was so good with children. And she was excited to have another teacher in the house. So I went and changed my major from psychology to education with the influence of her and the reassurance that I was going to do great. After I made this decision, I began to think of the type of teacher I wanted to be. I had had my share of really strict teachers that everyone was scared of, and I had also had teachers that were so sweet that students took advantage of them. I didn't know what I wanted to be, but I knew I wanted to be a teacher that students remembered. In the lives of students. I wanted to create a safe classroom that students felt comfortable in, as well as safe, no matter what. All of her students have loved her from the start, and watching her teach is something else because her students have the same respect for her that she has for them. Another teacher I strive to be like is Mrs. Bynum. She was my 7th grade math teacher, and she's the exact reason I want to teach math. She turned math into something fun and didn't make it seem like the one subject everyone hated in school. She was always there when times were tough at home also. And I felt like I had no friends that I could really talk to, but she was there. She was a listening ear for me. The last teacher is Mr. Gain. Although I hated the subject he taught, his class was very challenging to make an A in, and he believed in his students like no other teacher ever had. He knew his students were smarter than they thought they were, and he challenged them to where we realized just how much we actually could do. Because of my home life during the time of my middle school years, I began to think of how school sort of became an escape for me from all the fighting at home. I then thought of how I'm sure there's always kids going through something, and at the point, I knew I wanted my students to feel as though they were able to always talk to me about anything. Also, I want my students to see that no matter their race, economic status, or gender, they're always able to be exactly who they are in my classroom. I want all of my students to have the exact same opportunities as everyone else, no matter their background or color of their skin. I want every one of my students to feel as though they have the same chances in education as every other student. I want each student to feel that they can get their dream job, they can go to college, that they can get anything they set their minds to. Feel loved and protected by me as well, because I know so many teachers that think of their students as their babies because of how much time they spend with them, and I know that they would do anything for their students. I want to be able to share the love that they have with their students with mine at all times, through good and bad.